The purpose of a goal is not to do what you say you're going to do. Now, before you dismiss me, just hear me out here. And before that, just give me a moment so I hit live on Instagram. Okay, cool. Thank you. So, a purpose of a goal is not to do what you say you're going to do. What I want to invite you to is a slightly different point of view. I know in the world in general, that's how we approach goal setting. We set a goal up and then we have to meet the goal, because if you don't meet that goal, we make it mean 10,000 gazillion weird things about ourselves. Or we start beating ourselves up or start being harsh on ourselves, totally missing in the equation the fact that what if the purpose of a goal was to practice honoring you? That's what I want to invite you to, my friends. What if you stopped perpetrating abuse on yourself through the goals that you set for yourself and actually used whatever goals and targets you have for yourself as a way to practice being present with yourself, practice being nice to yourself, and practice having your own back? So I am on this 101-day journey of what I'm calling the Daily Choice Challenge. And there are these few daily choices, my goals or targets, so to speak, that I've come up with that I have made a commitment to do every day. One of those commitments is doing a daily live. One of those commitments is doing like writing every day. And especially with the one about writing, I'm noticing the most amount of resistance come up. And they've already been 2 or 3 days. It's day 13 today, but I think there have been 3 days, maybe 4 days in these 13 days that I didn't actually write. And so easy for me to go in and start judging myself or starting like ignoring that whole thing altogether too, because it's painful to look at. It's not really fun to not honor your word. And so we insidiously start judging ourselves a lot of times rather than being curious about it. So that's where the whole purpose of the Daily Choice Challenge is not to actually do what you say you're going to do. I know that's crazy, right? But doing what you say you're going to do, what if is a byproduct of you honoring you really learning to and practicing, trusting yourself, honoring yourself, and not from a place of, a lot of times to honor. It's okay, it's a little bit insidious. Let me try to walk you through this. A lot of times what we do is we set a goal and then we like, okay, put a blinders around us and be like, this is what I have to do. And no matter what, I am going to do it. And there's a lot of beauty to that too. So I'm not dismissing that at all. What I want to highlight here is sometimes in that energy comes up these insidious ways in which we start ignoring ourselves, ignoring our bodies, ignoring what might be coming up because we're so focused on wanting to do the goal right. And so I was noticing this as something that was coming up for me as well. And because it's self-love challenge, like it's literally the purpose of this Daily Choice Challenge is to practice honoring yourself, to not judge yourself on the way, to break this habit of judging yourself on the way. And so instead of really judging myself, I've come up with a little bit of a different system for me. I used to do it in a lot of different ways, but I've sort of put it together in a way that you can use it in a very, 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 what do you say, streamlined way for yourself as well. So I wanted to really share that with you today. Might be referring to my notes a little bit here. Okay, so I invite you to a totally different possibility with goal setting. What if goals were not to be set to abuse yourself, or nor were set in your life to do what you say you're going to do, or to do it right? Because what is right? How do you determine that? And how much judgment does it take to get to that place of right? The target of this whole challenge, the target of you setting your own goals is to have your own back, to be curious with yourself and to not be judgmental. And then to look at if there are some days, there are some moments where you're not actually doing what you say you're going to do, look at it. What is the reason for not doing what you say you want to do or that you would do? Be curious, not judgmental about that. And look at, are you honoring yourself with that choice? Is the reason you did not do what you said you want to do, something that was maybe honoring of you. For me, for example, this came up from there were a couple of things on my list that I didn't do yesterday, day before, whatever. And I was looking at that. Why? Well, my reason to, not actually doing what I said I want to do, like a daily live or writing that day, for the last couple of days, whatever little pieces that I missed was because I was on my period and my body really, really wanted some downtime to not really do it because I've said that I'm going to be doing it. That's not the point at all. The point of this challenge is to honor yourself. So to me, to truly honor myself, I had to just give myself a break from technology for a day. And so if you don't make yourself wrong for the times where you're not doing what you say you would do, what if you could actually be curious and look at what is it that you're doing it for to begin with? And if you were doing what you're doing, your goals, your targets, whatever you're reaching for, if the reason for doing them was nothing other than because you'd like to, nothing other than because you want to honor yourself and practice loving yourself and showing up from that place, then it totally changes the game, doesn't it? Because it was so easy and quick for me to get that, oh no, I'm not doing a live today because I'm wrong, or oh my God, I'm not keeping my word. I'm still honoring myself. And so I'm going to show up tomorrow. I'm not going to make any of how I'm showing up right now mean anything. So that's the beauty of this invitation that I have for you today, where you stop setting goals from the target to do what you say you're going to do, and instead adopt that mindset, that point of view, that perspective, that a purpose of a goal is to honor yourself. And it doesn't have to look any particular way. And only you can know for yourself whether a choice that you're making is honoring of you or not. And if your commitment is to have your own back, regardless of what you choose or don't choose, then you can have that curiosity from which true change emerges. So let's say one day you do not do something that you say you want to do, whatever is your goal, whatever is your target, whatever you set out to, achieve that day, that week, or whatever, right? Let's say you don't do it. And when you look at it from true place of curiosity and non-judgment and see that, wait, was I honoring myself with that choice? Some days you might actually get, yes, I was, I really needed that space. Other days you might actually get, you know what? Actually, I was not. I wasn't honoring myself. I gave into distractions. I gave into the noise. I gave into all that, heavy stuff that comes up a lot of times, all the shit that comes up when we set out to reach for something that's greater than what we've chosen so far. And from that place, then you can look at, okay, cool. If I didn't have to judge myself for any of this, what can I choose now? What would I like to choose now? What if you are never doing anything wrong, my friends? And I know that's a radical point of view. And that is my invitation to you. What if there is no need, no necessity to judge yourself on your way at all, no matter what you're choosing? What if you allowed yourself to break the habit of judging yourself and chose to be more conscious, more present, more gentle, more kind with you? So that's my little note for you today. And I'll be here again tomorrow. I hope to see you. And I'd love to hear from you in comments what you think about what we just chatted about and if it sparked any, you know, new awarenesses for you. Ciao, ciao.